worries.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm in a bit of a noisy environment. Volume, maximum volume that I have.
Oops, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me okay now? Okay.
Okay, now I can hear better.
At least I can hear you guys.
Okay.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear me. We can hear you, yeah. And Linus, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. We have like, I think like 7 or 8 people RSVP to this, but we'll just wait like a few minutes, and if they're not there quickly, we can just start the demo. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Lithuania.
Oh, Lithuania. Nice. I'm actually going there this summer. Hey, Sean.
Oh.
Can you,
Hey, how's it going? I hear you.
yeah, you can.
Yeah. How's it going?
Amazing. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I was just saying, Alliance, I think there's like 7 or 8 people who RSVP'd. We'll see if it, wait maybe like a minute more. If no one else shows, we can just kind of start the demo. And since it's just a couple people today, yeah, I'm happy to, take requests. We can dive deep. If there's anything specific that you guys want to cover, that would be really helpful. Yeah, actually, maybe as a start, when I share why you signed up for, how you heard about Rise, and why you signed up, and kind of like what you're hoping to get out of Rise.
A guy who owned an agency, I forget the agency, and I reached out to him because we're looking to improve our operations. So during the call, he's like, use this application. It's great.
Amazing.
Yeah, you guys do this. And so yeah, that's where it was recommended. And then personally, I just need it because I currently at this cusp in my agency where I'm just doing a lot to actually have less time, and more time, right? But yeah, so I need to like get a good gauge on like where my time is actually going, because I know it's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah,
so
I can totally relate to that. Okay, cool. That's super helpful. And so, are you? Well, yeah, that's great context there. Linus, do you want to share a similar thing, like maybe how you heard about Rise?
Yeah, I was using Gemini to find the best tool for login hours. So in the past, I knew about Toggle and Clockify, but I wanted to be fully automated, so I wouldn't need to, check in hours and write the descriptions and so on. So I wanted something so it would pick. So yeah, so that was the only software that can do that. Actually.
Yeah,
so,
amazing. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, awesome. And then, are there? Well, I'm gonna go. I'll go through a demo and cover the basics. Kind of start with the core of how Rise works and build it up. I think I can cover most things. I guess one last quick question for each of you: what is the most important output you're looking for in Rise? Is it, or even if there's a couple, you can list those. Would it be time by category, time by task, client, project? What's the most important?
That's a good question. Time by client would be very interesting, because right now I know there's like one client who's like, or 10% of my revenue, but like they're probably like 30-50% of my time.
Yeah.
I'm like debating just to like either charge them more or get rid of them. But I need like actual data to know that, right?
Totally. Yeah.
For me, it's time per day, because at the moment I see one downside is when you work over the midnight, It shows hours for the same day, but they're like 16 or something like that. But the actual hours for the till midnight is like 8 or something, but it shows 16. So when it's in the past,
Okay.
if you want to go into the past and report your hours, for example, to the customer, how much
Mhm.
time have you worked, and other, I think you still don't have that type of feature to log parallel times for multiple customers, because for example when you're like using null claw or like open claw or
Interesting.
tools like that,
Yeah.
you can work for multiple clients at the same time, so you can charge them both.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to log this. So I've actually built an
Yeah.
MCP, but I haven't utilized it yet because you have a GraphQL API, but I haven't yet.
Okay.
So, yeah. I guess that's it from me. My phone's going out of charge, so I'm gonna connect with my computer.
Oh, that's really interesting. Because yeah, I'm running lots of agents at the same time now. I'm sure you are too, probably. And so tracking those, that's going to be a fun project to add here. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Hey, Linus, welcome back. All right. I think I have a ton of context. And Linus, also one thing that's going to be coming really soon is we're revamping our API, like adding a bunch of endpoints and launching an MCP by like probably within the next 3 weeks. So that'll be really cool because you'll be able to link it to Claude or Gemma, whatever you work with, and kind of chat through your data, which would be really cool. Okay. Let me now. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share the app. We were having some performance like a few issues earlier today that we're trying to work through. I think it's all fixed, but I'm seeing some delays here. Let me see. If not, I can share. What's going on? Okay, I'll try this. Sorry, guys. Of course, the app doesn't work when we're in a demo. Oh my god.
No worries.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Here, I'm gonna share the staging right now, just so we can go through this. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm sure I know you guys are both using Rise, and I'm sure that a lot of this is going to be, stuff you already know, but I'm just going to start from the ground up to sort of build this up. If you have questions, just like there's that little raise hand thing, and then if you want to do that, then I can stop as well, or you just jump in. Don't worry. Okay, so how does Rise work? The core of Rise is automatic time tracker on macOS and Windows. And the way that we work is we track the metadata of the active window when you're using the computer. So you can have 10 screens open, but there's only one active window, and it's the one you're engaging with. And we'll never take screenshots. We never track the content of the window, so it's very privacy first. The only thing we track is the metadata. So that's basically app name, window title, and URL. So you can see like this is some of my activity right here. We track in really granular time entries, probably the most granular we like to say of any time tracker out there. Okay, and then basically, if you look at the Home tab, you get a pretty good visual representation of how Rise kind of builds. So, in the first column here, you have your activity. Now, this is your raw app and website data. Now, we'll also use some AI to map those apps and websites into different categories. And categories are sort of like high-level types of work. It's mostly for analyzing productivity. And so that is, again, that's like the raw data pipeline. Now, another thing that we do is we take that raw data, we pass it into our algorithm, which essentially does three main things. So that's what you'll see under the time entry column. We group this activity by similar types of work. Then we annotate it. So we'll add a title and description. And then we will either apply client projects and task tags to it, or you can recommend tags here, or you can like manually apply them. And so that's like the core flow where you'll really be able to apply depending on if you want to track by client, by project, by task. So this is the key sort of like, I'd say, algorithm that you can tweak to get right. And I'll talk a little bit how to do that. We just added this like quick settings here. So some quick things you can do here with that timeline settings is we have something called keyword matching enabled. I'll come back to that. That's going to change the way that these time entry suggestions are made. Also, you can update the language, the ideal time length, and you can also choose which columns are shown. If you're only tracking clients, for example, you can hide the projects and tasks. Just makes it easier. Stuff like that. Now, one other thing is with these are just time entry suggestions. So they're not approved yet. They're kind of like the real flow with Rise is that, you let it run in the background, and then either throughout the day, you kind of check these and approve them, tweak them, and hit accept, or you can do it at the end of the day. If that's sort of like with a lot of these AI tools, you might hear about the human in the loop step. That's sort of the human in the loop step. And so by default, these time entries will be pending for 24 hours, and then they'll be auto approved if you haven't accepted or rejected them. And so, as I mentioned, they are suggestions. So you can merge them, you can split them, you can regenerate the title and description. So like you can do a quick split, or you can do an advanced split. Like you can manually drag and drop however you want to, and it will split two different ones. If you expand these, you actually see the activity as you change that, which can be kind of nice. So if I do like split it, right here, then you'll see it generates two new time entries candidates right there. Or, I can merge them up, and then it becomes one. Oops. Then, if I want to see the activity panel, I can see that on the right as well, which can be helpful. And one other thing is if you kind of wait till the end of the day to review, we have this nice time entry inbox. This will show up if you have time entries to review. And basically, it's really nice because you have the pending time on the left. It's sort of meant to be like an email inbox, the time entry you're reviewing. And then on the right, you have your overview of apps, websites, top titles, and then you have the raw event log on the right, which you can search, and you can see those raw events when you were there. So that can be really helpful for like if you have a lot to go through. But yeah, the goal is like we just want to fully automate time tracking for you. And so I will also get into clients, projects, and tasks, how you can improve the tagging for these. There's a few other aspects I want to just cover quickly. So on the right, you'll see a bunch of metrics. So like Rise, what's cool about Rise, we also have really cool productivity metrics. So like you'll see, we have these focus sessions. You can click on these and rate them. We have a little focus score. We'll pull in meetings from your calendar as well. We have like a really nice like week view where you can see weeks by task, by project, client, session as well, or your even activity. You can do this also for months. This is the staging environment, so it'd be a bit slower, but you can get a good view of kind of like your personal, how your personal time from this. And these are collapsible too, which is really nice. Okay, so any questions so far, actually? Maybe I'll take a quick stop.
Yeah, quick question. I also haven't used much of it. So when it's tracked, I have 3 monitors, sometimes even 4 monitors. So what is it tracking exactly when I have 4 different monitors?
So when you have 4 monitors, there's still only at most 1 active window. And that's the window that you're engaged in current, like actively. Yeah. And so sorry.
It looks at your cursor, like wherever you're.
Yeah, it's going to be looking at your active window. So it's not necessarily a cursor, but like it's the window that you're either actively, that is like, windows are always layered on a computer. And so whichever is essentially the top layer has your focus is what it's going to be tracking. So like right now I'm tracking Rise, but if I were to click back into the browser, it's going to start tracking the browser. And if I click over into Slack, it'll start tracking Slack. And so even if you have a lot of like monitors, there's still only one active window.
Okay, even if I have Slack open all day on one of the monitors, will that track as like 24 hours of Slack, or?
It will only track Slack when you're actually actively using Slack.
Oh, interesting. So it really is just the active, whatever you're truly using.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it works really, really well. Surprisingly well. The one sort of issue, sometimes the only like I get issue with that is when we're in meetings. Actually, this scenario, and you're sharing the screen. So like I'm sharing my screen right now. So my active window is Rise. It's not the meeting. And so that can throw the AI detection algorithm for things like meetings into, get it a little confused. So we recommend definitely integrating either Outlook or Google Calendar because that will help a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how do I know? Because I started using it, I was like, I don't know if it's tracking or not. Is it always tracking? Is it always on? Like,
so it's on if this like green button here is tracking in the bottom left. Now, if I click that off, it will say paused in the widget and it will say pause down here. Then it's not tracking. And so when you go to account, you can also go to activity. By default, we have this sort of tracking schedule.
Oh, nice.
And if this schedule, Rise is going to start tracking and stop tracking on a schedule. You can always override it. So if it pauses at 6, I can just hit track again and it will turn on. And you can always pause earlier. If you want Rise to track 24/7, just disable all of these. And then Rise will just track if you've enabled it. If you pause it, it will never, it will just run whenever you manually enable or manually disable it.
Okay, I'll do that. Makes more sense.
Yeah. The only like 24/7 tracking is nice if you disable that. The only thing to remember is if you ever pause it, you have to remember to manually restart it because there won't be anything. That like automatically does. Yeah, exactly. That's what we recommend.
So is it possible to turn on multiple windows tracking at the same time or not yet?
So it's funny that you say that. We might be updating it to include like secondary or tertiary windows and like as like a additional context window, but that's not available right yet. I'll let you know if that changes. And that will mostly be just for like, for example, like auto detecting meetings, stuff like that. It gets a lot easier. Although it opens up this whole other can of worms because, you could get a lot of false positives if you have Zoom app open and you're like writing a doc and like, so we have to test it.
At the moment, it's good when you're, for example, organization and you want to track your employees if they're actually working or, browsing Facebook and stuff like that. So it's good because you only track what's focused. But when you're self-employed or, sole entrepreneur, then you want to earn as much as possible and track as much activity as you want so you can, bill it.
Yeah. That's
how
interesting.
Your work life. You want to gain as much from the hours you dedicate. And well, basically, that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so it sounds like both of you guys will want to do auto tracking of clients, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get into that. So, with Rise, we have a few ways to get clients in. If you use ClickUp, or you can actually import them from ClickUp. Do either of you use ClickUp? Okay. So another way to import them is just from CSV. It's super easy. You just can download a template and then enter your client's name. And then this is key. You're going to want to enter keywords separated by a semicolon. So keywords are essentially hints to our AI that you're working on that client. So you should definitely put the client name there. And if there's like if the client has a specific URL, you can add that, etc. for billing, are you all doing like monthly retainers or are you billing by the hour?
For some clients, I'm billing like monthly. For others, I have like total budget
Okay,
for the
cool.
project, and for some of them, I bill hourly. So
Awesome.
I'm utilizing actually all billing models.
Yeah.
Cool, that's great. Yeah.
I'm doing retainers, all retainers.
Okay, cool. So, okay, there's a few, I'll get into client tracking because client profitability tracking is really cool. It's a big value prop. But the keywords, just to cover those really quickly, basically keywords, they will be, so it could be like an ID or just the name of the client or even a URL. And what it will do is Rise will look for these, you know, as you're working. And then it's going to identify for these time entries, tagging things, it's going to be using a lot of those keywords. And then as you approve these, then Rise is going to actually learn, and like under the hood, the algorithm is going to be associating more keywords. So, you know, the general flow we recommend for Rise is like basically just spend a minute or two every day reviewing and approving this, because the more you approve it and input it, the better it's going to get automatically. And so with the client setup, there's one other key thing you can do. So if you enable this is disabled by default, but if you enable this keyword matching setting, exact keyword matching, what happens is if Rise sees a keyword for a client, it will create a time entry, even if it's just as short as a minute, and it will automatically tag that time to that client. So it's a little bit different, but I'd actually recommend you guys turn on this setting, because I think what it will do is you'll have more time entries potentially, but most of them will already be tagged to the client. Now, if Rise can't find if there's no keyword, it might recommend a client, but it won't automatically tag it. Yeah, so I would recommend that for you guys. And then the other thing is we're actually revamping this like really soon, but you can set up basic billing. So, you know, Linus, I'm not sure if you set this up, but you can do hourly rate, monthly retainer, or a combo. And if you choose hourly rate, you can just enter the hourly rate. If you choose monthly retainer, you can just enter whatever the monthly retainer is. And you can also include like a number of included hours if you want to track utilization for the client. So Sean, that might be interesting for you. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, you'll see like retainer and revenue. Then what you can do is in settings for the team, for the workspace, you're going to want to enter your cost rate. Now the cost rate is internal. So it's like basically how much time 1 hour of your time costs, let's say, to the company. And so, you know, you can kind of track that however you want to track that. There's a few ways you can get back to it if you want to do like an annual salary and divide it by, 52 times 40 or something like that. There's a few ways. And then what Rise is going to do, which is really cool, is if you go to the profitability dashboard, you're going to see a live profitability setup of your entire agency. And then when you scroll down here, so these views are kind of old, but we're getting some new ones. You're going to see like basically this really cool client profitability table with a lot of these metrics around like cost, profit, effective hourly rate, utilization percentage. So like Sean, you mentioned that client that's eating up a ton of your time. You should be able to really, really see this and get a much better understanding of like, oh my God, like my effective hourly rate for this client is like $5 an hour or something. I'm spending way too much time on them, and adjust accordingly.
That's awesome. That's super.
Yeah. And this, I'll say this is new, but it's coming a lot like, this is not like that great yet, I'd say. Like the UI needs to be cleaned up a bunch, but it's, we have a lot of updates coming here really soon. So
cool.
Yep. And then, okay, so last thing I'll cover is the reports. So reports are really cool. They're nice. I mean, if you ever need to pull these for clients, you can as well. Just like time spent. You can filter by client. And then you can export these reports to CSV or PDF. You can share them as well. If you want to send them directly to the client, PDF or CSV. And you can also schedule them to send on like a recurring schedule if you want to get this in your inbox every week, every day, One cool thing that a lot of customers have been doing is like go looking for their last month, right? And then exporting their data, their time entries to CSV and dropping it into Gemini or chat and being like, hey, run some analysis on this. Where are some areas that I can improve efficiency? Who are my most clients? Can you categorize each of these time entries as a task type and like group it? So like it's pretty cool. I would recommend maybe just trying that. We will also be built. Essentially, that's what the MCP is going to be. You'll be able to do that directly in the app, but as a temporary fix, I would recommend checking that out. And I think that's the main thing. We launched just like home today, which is going to be it's a sort of a placeholder now with some basic stuff, but eventually it's going to have the MCP, the chat, where you'll be able to chat with your data and run like really cool analysis in the background on your business and clients and stuff like that. So that's coming soon.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Are there any other questions that you guys have right now? Anything else I can like dive in on?
I'm interested in what kind of models are you using, like underlying models for AI features?
We have some like for our focus quality score. It's an in-house model that it's most basically just linear regression. For like the time entries, time entries generation tagging, we mostly use Gemini, although we do use a bit of all of them, like Claude and with Anthropic and ChatGPT as well. But Gemini is primarily what we use right now. But we're always kind of testing. That's the main one. I think we're using Gemini 3, I believe, is the most common one we're using. It's 3 Flash. It's like the mini model for some of these like quick descriptions. But then we have like our own layer on top of that. So for like those recommendations that we still use those LLM APIs, but then we kind of like, we built in a way our own sort of like business logic that improves the tagging. Although like, yeah, we're still toying around with it. It's interesting because, I don't know how many, we want to get that really good, but then some of our customers want to just connect to our API and have their own agents tag things. So that's going to be something that's interesting too, because they can add their own like custom logic to their own agents that are probably going to be better, more specific than ours. So that's also an interesting concept.
Yes, thank you for the demo.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, very helpful. I'm excited to start using it. I wasn't truly using it before, but cool. So you suggest like at the end of each day, just going through them, right?
Yeah, like that's what I would say is, you will get an email, but basically go into the dashboard either like a couple times throughout the day or just like a couple minutes at the end of the day and just review the time entries, like tag them. And then what's cool is it will get better. So if you do that for a week or so, you should just keep getting better.
Cool. And like, I guess there is places to manually input like things that are not showing on the computer, like gem and doom scroll. And
yeah, just like that. So if you want to add categories, you can drag and drop on the activity. You just select add override. That's probably the best option. And that will automatically create a time entry too. If you want to just track directly a time entry, you can just drag and drop and select time entry there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Anything? Oh, I have a question for you guys. Is it okay if this, like if I was to post this on our YouTube, this demo, is that all right with you guys? Or just parts of it? Like I would probably just cut it up and post parts. We're trying to.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. We're trying to get more content out there on YouTube. So it's helpful.
It's all good. Hi, YouTube.
Yeah. Nice. What's your YouTube?
My YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm kidding. Well, I do have a YouTube, but I don't use it anymore. I don't post anymore.
All
Oh, I
right, thanks
found
for the
it.
presentation. I really gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Yeah, thanks so much, Linus. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right. Yeah. Well, any other thing I can cover, Sean?
No, you was very helpful, honestly. I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to using it and seeing how much time I'm wasting.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I
I hear
think
you.
I'm gonna say like shit. Cool. Let's do it. I used
Awesome.
to like Google Sheets, and I was like, there has to be a better way.
Yes.
But we spent the time building this. Thanks.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. All right.
Take care.
Have a good one. See ya. Bye.